about the noise, where legends rise. From the clouds to the crowd, this is Crowd, where Africa meets opportunity, where music meets magic.
Hello guys, welcome once again to another edition of our L&D series. I am your host, I am Yazayo Daily, and interestingly we have an interesting topic today. So today we're talking about building digital bridges, how African content can compete and thrive in the global attention economy, which is a very interesting topic. And we got one of the brightest minds to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about somebody all the way from Zambia who is a creative strategist, is a writer and artist who is passionate about helping African creatives and small businesses. It tells their stories with clarity and purpose. He also founded Ula Culture, that's a developing creative marketing agency, and they are focused on creative direction, artist branding, and small business storytelling. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the one, the only Philip Dumanayo Mvula. I hope I got that right.
It did actually. Like that was really, really good. Thank you.
My first, most people from outside your space do not get that right?
No, they don't. They don't.
Because so what's like the common one you heard?
Where was that name from? And it's always funny to tell the story, but I think a lot of people are catching up now, and I'm glad that they are catching up.
Okay. What's the weirdest you've heard in pronouncing your name?
I think it's crazy. Some people call me Dumase, and it doesn't connect. And I'm like, how did you connect
that with that, right?
But I understand. Sometimes when people are not used to hearing something that is just like, oh, I've never heard this name before, they immediately associate whatever familiarity they have with the name that they've heard. And I'm like, it's all good.
All right, yeah. All right, thank you so much. We're really excited to have you. I noticed that we're speaking to you from Zambia, which is like very interesting. Can you just walk us through how the creative atmosphere of Zambia is? Just like a quick survey.
I think the creative space in Zambia right now is at a very exciting times. There's so much change that there's a lot of collaboration happening between creators. There's a lot of boldness. There's so much that has changed over the years, and I'm just excited to be part of the community, and I'm excited to see where the community is going. So yeah, that's what Zambia is up to. I think everyone is literally in their bag in the creative space in Zambia at the moment.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right. So, like we said today, we want to talk about how we build digital bridges. And the reason we're talking about this is because now we can see that the African culture is encroaching the global space. When you check the creative industry now, we're talking about the world, we see that Africa is like a spice that is now slowly taking over the whole recipe. So we're trying to see how Africans and their content compete and thrive in the global attention economy. I don't know if you have maybe like backstory that you want to give us so we can, get a wing of this whole arrangement.
Sorry, the backstory behind this, where African creativity stands on a global scale?
Yes, please.
I think at the moment, I'll go back to what I said when I said Zambia is at an exciting time for creatives. And I think it's the same for all Africans. We've seen so many African creatives literally going global and representing Africa in so many ways. And I think we're at a very good time. And I think it's our stories, the authenticity that we have, what we're telling, is what's making us stand out on the global scale. The other day, I was reading this publication that they released by Molly and Tyler, and I was just so amazed how Africans are literally dominating the Western world, and just it's really exciting.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so I'll throw this question at you. As a digital and content strategist yourself, what are the most crucial things that you feel like African creatives should always focus on when packaging their work for a global audience? What things exactly?
I think authenticity is the balance. I think once you find the balance with that, and because that's our stronghold as Africans, I believe Africans already have powerful stories, and the real work is only learning to package those stories for the global platform. Otherwise, know your platform as a creative. What works on YouTube won't work on TikTok. Just understand your community, understand your platforms, tell your stories, and I think we're good to go from there. So I don't think the world needs another copy. I think because we thrive in reputation, so many things that we're seeing are things that we've seen before. But the fact that as Africans we have so many stories to tell, we have so much to offer. But the only thing that we need to focus on is the package, learning to package the what we have for the global platform.
All right, thank you so much for that. So authenticity is one thing that we should hammer on. I'm bringing the bullet point out for those that might have missed that. So authenticity, Mr. Philip says we should be authentic. And it's quite interesting because we realize that these days a number of people are trying to take out the core of what essentially makes their works African. And by the time you now package it to these guys and they're like, this was not what we came to you for, right? So authenticity is really important in this. That will lead me to my next question. So, in your experience as a founder and CEO, how can startups in Africa balance their storytelling strategy so that it can be sustainable, especially in this digital era?
I think I'll go back to what I always say. I believe storytelling gives emotion and strategy gives direction. And once you understand the two, I think you're good to go. It's not always about going global or viral. I think it's about building trust and community. Once you build your ecosystem around it, that system helps you, and that system is your content plan, your data, your engagement, because that's what's going to help you build what you are trying to build and engage with the global community. So I would say that I think a good strategy attracts attention, and a good story also keeps it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about strategy, storytelling strategy. We're saying that it's not always about going viral. And when you talk about sustainability, we can see that what you've said now is really a very focal point. These days, everybody just wants to go viral, and they're like, "Oh yeah," but we've seen that most artists who have successfully. Are you back? So there's a blipping sound. It's from your end.
That's on my end.
I think it's from your end.
Everything's. Can you hear me? Are we?
Yeah,
Okay, we're good.
all right. So I just knew from where I was. So I was talking about the fact that touching down on storytelling and strategy, not always thinking that it's all about virality and being viral. We see that now the age that we are in, everybody just wants to be viral. That's just the goal. The goal is not to, it's not to do anything. It's just the fact that everybody just knows that there's this guy somewhere that is like popping, and this problem brings me to this idea of the algorithm. Now, for content, everybody is saying algorithm. How do you get your content up on the algorithm? How does the algorithm push you and things like that? So, how do you particularly work with the algorithm, and then you ensure that say for someone that's trying to build this stuff step by step, now for someone who is playing the long-term game, how do you work hand in hand with the algorithm to ensure that you can break through on the platform limitations?
This one is a funny one, because I think this is a topic that everyone talks about, not just like even just on the African side. I've seen so many people talk about the algorithm, but one thing I've understood, or one thing I'm learning myself, is that there are no limitations, and don't fight the algorithm. Understand it, work with it, because one thing I've noticed is that the algorithm rewards clarity, consistency. It's there to work for you, you know? Like once you understand your algorithm or how it works, you build on that. Don't fight it. And for me, I think that's what's been helping me. And you know, sometimes I know even when you step into like understanding the algorithm and you start posting content, it's not always that your content will get traction, right? But you still don't stop. That's the thing. The algorithm rewards consistency. You just keep on building. And by the time your audience finds you, they will actually go back to what you used to post.
Right.
And if it's good quality, good content, there's clarity, there's consistency, you will build a community. Trust me, and the algorithm will reward you. And it always comes good when it rewards you because it's just going to put your face everywhere.
Word. So we're talking about clarity and consistency. I think many people talk about consistency, they leave out clarity because you can be consistently doing something wrong, you can be consistently doing something right. So I feel like consistency must work hand in hand with clarity. That's a very key point there. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I think this is my final question. I don't have so many questions. All right, so looking ahead, what innovations in content creation and distribution do you believe will define Africa's place? Because I think the creative industry in Africa is really going fast. We can see too many innovations at once. And so which kind of innovations or what class of innovations do you think will define Africa's place in the global digital economy over the next decade?
I think in the next decade, it's about ownership. Africans, we have so much originality. We have so much to offer. And I think once we learn, I think what we need actually is infrastructure, education, and also collaboration. Collaborate more with other African creatives because I believe that will always multiply to reach. The more we collaborate, imagine if creators from Nigeria collaborated with creators from Zambia. That's a huge bridge, you know, and it's passing through so many countries, you know. So I think for me, the next decade is just about ownership and innovation. And I believe once Africans start collaborating more with other creators, we won't just take part in the global trend. I believe we'll actually lead it, you know, because we actually belong differently, you know. We've always been building differently. So yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for that. I don't know if you have things you want to add. Rather, I mean, to this whole content thing because I've maxed out on my questions, and I don't know if you have final words, things you want to mention.
Okay, I think I'm good on my end, and what I would just say to add on is that I'll go back to the word authenticity. I think I like using the word authenticity when it comes to anything that's African themed because so once we understand that because people want originality, and for Africa, our languages, our rhythm, our humor, we have it all. And the best examples I can give, these guys never went out there to look for the world. The world came to them, and it's because they were authentic. They went to the world representing Africa, and the world came to them. So once we stick to authenticity and we understand that's our superpower, we're good, and we're actually doing way better. I'm so proud of the African creative space. It's really, really exciting, and we can see how much it's topping the trends every day.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. I mean, this was a very interesting and short session. We learned a lot from Mr. Philip Mvula. That's a very interesting name. I like that name. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is our L&D series as usual, where we talk about, different things in the music industry. We talk about professionals in the music industry and how exactly, the music industry relies on these professionals to stand. And today we had Mr. Philip from Zambia, who is a digital and content strategist, amongst many other things. He's also a founder and a CEO and a rich man.
A rich man in the making.
All right. So yeah, if you have questions, send us questions on our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Crowd Africa, you find us. We can get your questions across to him, and we'll get them across to you back in answers. So thank you so much for your time, Mr. Philip. It was such a swell time. We learned a lot, and we are hoping to see you and have you again in the nearest future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.